In this video, we're going to do an example involving the method of pairwise comparisons. So here we see a preference schedule with among 4 different candidates. So we can go ahead and look at the total number of voters here by adding all the numbers across the first row. So we have 13 plus 11, that's 24, plus 10, that's 34, and plus another 10. So if we have a total of 44 voters. And so remember what this preference schedule means. In the very first column, 13 voters have voted for D as their first choice, A as a second choice, C as their third choice, and B as their fourth choice. And so on. In the second column, 11 voters have voted in this other particular way. So remember that the method of pairwise comparisons involves taking each pair of candidates and putting them into head-to-head match and see who wins. So one way of thinking of it is as a graph where each candidate is represented by a vertex, and the head-to-head matches between candidates are represented by edges between those vertices. So thought of in this way, the number of head-to-head comparisons among all the possible candidates would give us would correspond to the number of edges in the complete graph on 4 vertices. And we know that the complete graph on 4 vertices has exactly 6 edges. So that means there's 6 head-to-head comparisons that we can do. And when we go through a particular head-to-head comparison and we see the winner, we're going to draw an arrow from the losing candidate to the winning candidate. So we're going to keep track of that as we go through all the possibilities. So let's start out with A versus. So the way we do this is we look at a given column and we look among those voters who had that particular preference ballot, who they ranked higher, A or B. The one they ranked higher then gets all the votes for that particular column. So in this case, if you look at the very first column, those 13 voters ranked A as their second choice and B as their fourth choice. So in that case, those 13 voters preferred A to B, so A gets all the 13 votes of that column. In the second column, B is ranked number 1 and A is ranked number 4. So we see that those 11 voters prefer B to A. So B would pick up 11 votes. In the third column, A is ranked ahead of B because A is ranked as third choice and B is ranked by fourth choice by those 10 voters. So A picks up 10 votes. In the fourth column, B is ranked ahead of A by those 7 voters. So B picks up 7 votes. And then finally, in the last column, B is ranked as number 2, A is ranked as number 4. So those 3 voters prefer B to A. So B picks up an additional 3 votes. And so altogether, then you can see that A has picked up 23 votes, while B has picked up 21. So in that case, A has more votes. So A wins that head-to-head match. So we would draw an arrow from B to A, indicating that A is the winner in the head-to-head match between A and B. And now we just repeat this for the other possible head-to-head comparisons. So let's look at A versus C. So in the first column, A is ranked ahead of C by those 13 voters, so A picks up 13 votes. In the second column, C is ranked ahead of A, so C picks up 11 votes. In the third column, C is ranked ahead of A, so it picks up an additional 10. In the fourth column, A is preferred over C, so A gets 7 votes. And in the final column, C is preferred over A, so C picks up 3. So A in this case has a total of 20 votes, where C controls 24. So in that case, C is the winner. So we draw an arrow from A to C. And now about A versus D. So in the first column, those 13 voters prefer D. So D gets 13. In the second column, D again is preferred over A. So D picks up another 11 votes. In the third column, D is preferred over A. So it gets 10 votes. In the fourth column, A is preferred over D, so A gets 7. And in the last column, those 3 voters prefer D over A, so D gets 3 more votes. And so we can clearly see that D is the winner. So we draw an arrow from A. So now notice that it doesn't matter exactly how many votes. And in each of these head-to-head comparisons, it doesn't matter exactly how many votes A gets or D gets. It doesn't matter how close it is or how much D wins by. All that matters is who wins the head-to-head. So we've now compared A to each of the three other candidates. We see that A has it has won a head-to-head comparison against B, and it's lost a head-to-head comparison against D and C. So it's lost two and won exactly one comparison. So now we can look at B versus C. So looking in the first column, those 13 voters prefer C over B, so C picks up 13. And the next column, B is preferred over C, so B picks up 11. In the third column, C is preferred, so it picks up 10. In the fourth column, B is preferred, so it picks up 7. And in the final column, C is preferred, so it picks up 3. So in total, B has 18 votes, and C has 26. So C is clearly the winner. So we would draw an arrow from B to C. And now we can look at B versus D. So in the first column, D is preferred over B, so D gets 13. In the second column, B is preferred, so B gets 11. In the third column, D is preferred, so it picks up 10. In the fourth column, B is preferred, so it picks up 7. And in the final column, B is again preferred with 3. And so then total, B has actually 21 votes, but D has 23 votes, so D still wins for the total number of people that prefer D to B. So then we would write a arrow from B to D. And finally, there's one more head-to-head comparison between C and D. So looking at the first column, we see D is preferred to C, so D picks up 13. In the second column, D is again preferred to C, so it picks up another 11. In the third column, now C is preferred to D, so C picks up 10. In the fourth column, C is again preferred to D for 7, and C is preferred to D in the final column, so it picks up an additional 3. Again, counting the total number, D has then 24 votes, whereas C only has 20, and so D is the winner. And so we would write an arrow, draw an arrow from C to D. So in this case, we can look at our graph, and it's easy to kind of take all these 6 head-to-head comparisons and have a very nice visualization of it. So we can see that B actually lost every single head-to-head comparison that it was in. A won exactly 1 match but lost 2. C won 2 matches but lost 1, and D did not lose any. So the method of pairwise comparison says that the winner under this method is a candidate that has the most that has won the most number of head-to-head comparisons. So in this case, D is the winner. Note that if we had a tie, so suppose there were 2 different candidates that had the same number of head-to-head comparisons, then we would have a tie, and we would need some form of tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker is not something that's fixed by the method of pairwise comparisons. It's some other kind of method or idea that has to be stipulated at the beginning. But in this case, there was no tie. D clearly has the most head-to-head comparisons won. And notice as well in this case that D is also the Condorcet candidate. So remember what that means. To be a Condorcet candidate means that you win every head-to-head competition that you're in. So it wasn't necessary for D to win every single head-to-head competition. You might have a candidate winning in the method of pairwise comparisons where they sometimes will lose a head-to-head comparison. In order to win under the method of pairwise comparisons, all you need is to win the greatest number of head-to-head comparisons. But when you have the special property that you win every head-to-head comparison that you're in, it's called a Condorcet candidate.